A 3-hour flagship show that seemingly never ends? Terrible non-wrestling segments? Bad booking and frequently declining ratings? No, you're not watching reruns of WCW from 1999. It only seems like it. So join us now as WrestleLamia looks at why the WWE is beginning to look like WCW's dying days. Number 1. The long boring open. Remember those glorious days when the New World Order spent 20 minutes opening up Nitro and Thunder, indulging their egos and lulling the fans into a deep sleep? That tradition continues today on Raw and SmackDown Live, with both shows spending an inordinate amount of time trying to get things going in what can only be compared to an octogenarian in the bathroom. While the WWE does change up the players, and thankfully they didn't have to deal with massive egos like Kevin Nash, Scott Hall or Hulk Hogan, the openings are predictable and almost always feature a beatdown and or a challenge. Worse, the scripted promos run on forever as fans long for the day of the off-the-cuff promos that fans actually want to listen to talkers like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock and Mick Foley. Number 2. Too much television. Alexandre Dumas once quipped, "There's no success like success, but success can be a double-edged sword in the world of television as network executives see a successful product and duplicate it ad nauseum." Such was the case with WCW when network executives saw the success of WCW Nitro and slapped a third hour on its already 2-hour show. Captivated by Nitro's success, TBS executives demanded an additional 2-hour show. Thus, WCW Thunder was born, airing on the Superstation. In his memoir Controversy Creates Cash, Eric Bischoff recalls the problem he faced adding a 2-hour primetime wrestling program. The additional production expense in running another show was huge. Another Nitro-like show would have called for another 40 or 50 people. I'd have to hire 15 to 20 new production people alone. I had no idea where to find them since I couldn't hire from outside the company, and there was the talent. If I just used the wrestlers I already had in another 2-hour show, I'd overexpose them. I'd also run the risk of watering down stories to the point where they wouldn't be significant any longer. And that assumed that I didn't run them down to the point of sheer exhaustion. While Bischoff was reluctant, R.D. Reynolds notes in the classic book The Death of WCW that the estimated $12 million TBS paid the company for the show helped to change his mind. Such is the case with the WWE, who accept piles of cash from networks looking to bump their weekly ratings, even if it leads to problems in the long run. Granted, the WWE wisely expanded their roster to fill 2 shows, they haven't effectively used the time allotted, leading to stale storylines and underutilized talent. Although the WWE has managed to keep Raw and SmackDown going, both shows are dying a slow death. Something we'll discuss later. Number 3. Not enough wrestling. Weekly television involves a mix of wrestling and angles, but most fans would agree that there just isn't enough wrestling on WWE programming. Despite 5 hours of cable television, not to mention NXT, 205 Live and Main Event on the WWE Network, the WWE doesn't use this extra time to showcase wrestlers' talents. PW Insider compiles estimates of just how much time is spent on wrestling matches, not counting commercial breaks. Consider the 3-hour Raw for 13th May 2019 that saw an 8-minute match between the team of The Miz and Roman Reigns and the team of Bobby Lashley and Elias, a 1-minute match between Mojo Rawley and Apollo Crews, 6 minutes for Baron Corbin, another 6-minute match, this time involving Nikki Cross, Natalya, Dana Brooke and Naomi, 7 minutes for the Rey Mysterio Cesaro bout, and 11 minutes for the main event of Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman, a total of just 39 minutes. The 2-hour SmackDown Live show featured roughly 33 minutes of in-ring competition, almost as much as Raw. Compare the WWE's 3 and 2-hour show to some of its smaller competitors, as last week's Ring of Honor 1-hour show featured 27 minutes, and Major League Wrestling's 1-hour Fusion show featured 25 minutes of wrestling. It's difficult for wrestlers to get over when they don't have time to perform in the ring, something reminiscent of WCW's final years. Number 4. Meaningless titles. The WWE deserves kudos for building its women's division, something WCW never spent much time with, and when they did, it made the Divas era look like New Japan Pro Wrestling. The addition of a women's tag team championship is a good move for rounding out the women's division, but it's a stark contrast from the men's division, which features not only too many titles, but meaningless ones at that. The once prestigious Intercontinental Championship has been a joke for some time, and the US title is even worse. The WWE's tag team titles have been uneven for years, with many questionable choices for champions, ranging from the recent duds like the B-Team and the Hype Brothers. The WWE has talked about building up all three titles, but failed to come through. While there's hope that the Universal Championship will get some prestige now that there's a full-time champion, it's too early to tell if the belt's been irreparably damaged. While no WWE superstars thrown their belt in a trash can like Scott Steiner did with the WCW Television Championship, it could happen before you know it. Number 5. Annoying authority figures. Last December's announcement that there would be no more authority figures was short-lived, as the McMahon family continues to parade around on TV. Whilst it's one thing for Shane McMahon to battle against The Miz in a traditional feud, it's another when he tells Roman Reigns he's the boss and proceeds to do what he wants. The McMahons continue popping up week after week, something made all the worse when they do the following. Number 6. Crazy rule changes. Related to the problems with authority angles are the increasingly nonsensical rule changes made on Raw and SmackDown. One of the biggest examples is Vince McMahon's announcement of the wildcard rule that allows Raw and SmackDown superstars to show up on the other show. The rule was murky from the beginning, and fans are still unsure what, if any, penalties exist for people violating the rule. Add in other craziness such as the WWE abandoning its automatic rematch policy, Brock Lesnar inserting himself into the Money in the Bank match, and you have fans wondering whether Vinnie Mac will bring Bill Watson and announce the superstars can no longer perform any moves off the top rope. Number 7. Not building new stars. Any promotion that doesn't build new stars is eventually going to face the problem of number 1. Fans tiring of seeing the same faces in the main event, number 2. Top stars leaving due to injury, and number 3. Main eventers leaving due to outside pursuits such as John Cena's Hollywood career. The WWE has been lax in building up main event players despite the introduction of potential main eventers such as Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, Rusev, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn and Braun Strowman. Not surprisingly, many of these stars are fan favourites, but the WWE continues with its booking approach of, we know what you want better than you do. There have been exceptions such as Kofi Kingston's push, but outsiders tend to fare poorly in the WWE, with the exception of AJ Styles. Earlier this year, Vince McMahon bemoaned how the current WWE roster was stale, so he called up NXT standouts including Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, and Aleister Black. Like most McMahon projects, the WWE chairman gave them an initial push before growing bored with them and looking for new toys to play with. Number 8. Frequent script changes. The WWE script woes have become legendary, with constant rewrites plaguing Raw and SmackDown and changes being made minutes before the show airs. As discussed in our recent video on why so many writers are leaving the WWE, Vince McMahon is known for keeping his writers up all night only to rework scripts before they go to air. This is bad for writers' morale, and it hurts the product as performers scramble at the last minute changes. This problem seems to be worsening as the 20th May 2019 Raw reportedly featured script changes in the middle of the show, with Brian Alvarez commenting on the Observer Radio that the backstage situation was a complete disaster. Number 9. Hot-shotting matches. When ratings are down, promoters sometimes made the mistake of giving away big matches for free on TV with little or no build-up, robbing promoters of the chance to capitalize on the fans looking forward to a big match and tuning in. Longtime fans and wrestling historians will recall when WCW put a Hollywood Hulk Hogan vs Goldberg match on Nitro, robbing the promotion of a chance to capitalize on a dream pay-per-view match. While it would be wrong to compare Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins to Hulk Hogan and Goldberg, the WWE hot-shotted a WWE and Universal Championships title unification match, booking it on the spot. While the WWE Universe may have suspected the match would end without a conclusive finish, they should have announced the match for next week's Raw, or better yet, set it up for a pay-per-view. Number 10. The same matches. For a promotion that announced no automatic rematches, the WWE certainly manages to find a way to pit the same wrestlers against each other week in and week out. This isn't a new problem, as longtime fans know. During the Attitude Era, the WWF often aired matches on pay-per-view, only to feature rematches the next night on Raw. However, there's a big difference between fans tuning in to see The Rock take on Triple H again, and fans having to watch Braun Strowman vs Sami Zayn for the seemingly 300th time. Number 11. Low morale. With all the WWE's woes, a lot of people have had enough and are looking to end their stay in the company, either asking for releases or refusing to sign contract extensions. Just as WCW lost some excellent workers such as Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero and Dean Malenko, the WWE continues to see talent leaving the company or refusing to sign. With Sasha Banks still wanting out and Dean Ambrose now a free agent, this could be the beginning of a mass exodus from the WWE, yet another cause of WCW deja vu. Number 12. Low ratings. Considering the WWE's problems, few people are surprised that the ratings for both Raw and SmackDown Live are in the toilet and circling the drain. Both programs' ratings have been steadily dropping, and it bears mentioning that most TV shows' ratings continue to drop due to the continued splintering of the TV audience caused by the proliferation of new programming. The WWE still needs to be concerned because their weekly programming not only loses its audience week after week, but they're losing the audience as the shows progress, with viewers tuning out in the second and third hour. But there you have it, guys. 12 reasons the WWE is starting to look like WCW in its dying days. Do you see the resemblances? If so, be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.